Hey everybody, welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another Choosing Beggar Reddit video. If you are new to the channel, then subscribe, and help me get to that 5,000 subscriber mark. In our first story, we have the tale of a kind OP who just wants to help a struggling teen out by trading them some work for lunch. That seems pretty simple and easy, right? Oh, sweet naive OP. Let's jump right in. I just moved to the US. I'm American, but have been working overseas for the past few years. The landlord left my place a flipping mess, so I'm cleaning up garbage outside of my apartment, literally. While I am doing that, a neighbor kid notices me. She tells me that she's homeless and pregnant and wants to help in order to make some money. I was also homeless as a teenager, so I'm super empathetic to her situation. I tell her if she just helps me put the rest of the debris into a garbage bag, that I'll buy her lunch. The job is finished quickly. It takes about 10 minutes tops with the two of us working together. I then drive her to Burger King and let her order whatever she wants. She only gets some chicken nuggets and nothing else. I also buy her a small bag of food for her dog. I pay for everything with my card. I drop her off, thank her for her help, and I tell her I'll happily buy her lunch again or buy clean clothes or things like that in the future if I need more help. It's not even a minute after I get home when I hear pounding on my door. It is her boyfriend. He demands to know why I didn't pay her. He asks if I knew that she's pregnant and tells me that I am a monster for taking advantage of her. She's standing behind him in tears, crying about how she really needs me to help her. I'm totally speechless. I've literally just met these two people, but now it's somehow my responsibility to take care of them. I explained that I explicitly said I would offer her lunch in exchange for helping me. I apologized for the misunderstanding and also explained that I don't even have any cash to give. I just moved back to the US and don't have any American currency. I told them that I literally only have a single dollar. They reluctantly left. I was homeless myself, so I know how hard it is. I know how important money is, but still, when I was homeless, I would have never demanded anything from anyone, and food was just as valuable to me back then. Just as I was typing this, I got another knock on the door. Do you still have that dollar? Edit. They just came knocking for a third time, asking if I'd never heard of an ATM. This makes me never want to do something nice for someone again. Here's my first update. So they came to my door a total of 6 times yesterday, always asking for different things. I admit I did give them a roll of toilet paper because I'm a sucker who falls for every sob story I hear, but I gave nothing else. Today, somebody came and took the girl away. A relative of hers, I think? Around noon today, I heard lots of shouting, so I peeked through the crack in my curtains and saw 5 people across the street. The teen boy and girl, the boy's mom, and 2 other adults I'd never seen before, a man and a woman. I could hear the mom shouting, knocking on my door every hour, and get off my property. I could also see the man and woman physically pushing the girl and shouting, let's go! Get in the car! The boyfriend was the man of the hour. He tucked his tail between his legs the entire time and didn't stick up for his girlfriend at all. He was totally silent and passive the entire time. Shortly after, the girl comes across the street and starts knocking on my door. I don't answer. I couldn't quite make it out, but I heard one of the adults shout something like, "Oh, now she's going to the neighbor's house." And the man chased after her while still shouting, "Let's go." I didn't want to be seen, so I stopped peeking out the window for a second, and when I looked back, they were across the street again, and I could hear the car doors closing. The car drove away. The kicker was that the boyfriend cheerily shouted, "Bye, babe," from his mom's yard as if he was dropping her off at an airport, not watching her get forcibly driven away by what I assume are her relatives. My guess is that the boyfriend's mom got fed up with the girl sleeping in the driveway and asking for stuff, so she called the girl's relatives to come get her off the property or else. I hoped that this would be the end of it, but not just yet. Here's update number 2, the conclusion, I hope, with names changed. Just before 1 a.m. as I'm trying to sleep, I have to wake up at 6 a.m. for work every day, I hear the same pounding on my front door. This time I finally called the non-emergency number for the local police and told them someone was banging on my door and gave my address, name, and number. After that, I ignored the knocking. While I waited for the police to arrive, the familiar shouting and arguing from across the street resumes. It's the mom and the 2 teens going at it. They carry on until 3 a.m. That's when I can't stay awake any longer and fall asleep. The cops never came. Great. So the next morning I go out to run errands and pick up an indoor security camera I can point out my front window next to the door. As I'm leaving, the girl asks to borrow my phone to call her boyfriend. He is literally inside the house across the street. I ask why she can't just knock on the door like a normal person, and she says that the mother filed a restraining order against her. She'll be arrested if she goes on the property again. Oh, I guess that explains all that shouting last night. When I come home, the situation is so much worse. They have set up sleeping bags on my front porch. My front yard is now littered with their garbage. I am pissed. I tell them they need to find another place to be. They say, yeah, sure, but they obviously had no intention of moving. I go inside to set up the camera, then I hear it again, the knocking. I huff my way to the door, open it, and it was the police. At first I'm thinking, man, they took their sweet time, but to my surprise, he asks if my name is Susan. He says that someone named Susan called 911. I say, no, I am not Susan, but Susan is my landlord's name. I ask if this isn't about the call they received at 1 a.m. He says no, this call just came now. He tells me that Susan called to report a tenant issue. I am now panicking, wondering if my landlord is blaming me for all this, so I get my phone, call her, and put my landlord on the speakerphone to talk with the sheriff. To my tremendous relief, the landlord says a neighbor noticed I wasn't home earlier and saw that the 2 teenagers had made themselves very comfortable on my front porch, so the neighbor called my landlord and the landlord called 911 to have them removed. The sheriff then went to talk to the teens and the mom came out of her house to join the discussion. I could hear her shouting things like, I wasn't the one who called the cops, and give me back my son's clothes so I can wash them. Priorities, right? The sheriff said if they ever set foot on my yard again, they will be arrested for trespassing, and he was confident that should scare them into never coming back. I looked outside again and can't see them anymore. I hope this is finally the end of everything. Oh, and thank you to everyone who offered advice and suggestions. And all this because I thought I was being nice by buying someone lunch. Story number 2 shows us a choosing beggar who wants to borrow some golf clubs. Can I borrow your golf clubs, please? My new ones? What's up with yours? Yeah, and nothing. It's not for me, it's for Jerry. Got a late tea time at 4 today, but they don't allow sharing clubs, so he needs a set. You're not lending my new clubs, but my old Wilson staff set are in the shed. If he's going to play regularly, tell him he can have them, but if it's just a one-off, I'll keep hold of them. He said he's not using Wilson golf clubs. His exact words were, flipping Wilson? I won't be seen dead using Wilson. Even Tom Hanks flipped Wilson off, and he was his best mate. I think that's a no then. Can he use your new ones? I promise he won't flip them. He's a cheeky bastard, him. But it's still a no. I've just offered him a free set of good clubs. If he's worried people are going to be watching and judging him because of the clubs he's using, he needs to get over himself. They'll be watching and judging because he's crap. Okay, well, I'll use yours, and he can use mine. Where are they? Listen, silly bollocks, I said no, and they're in my car anyway. Tell him to go buy a set and stop bothering me. He said he'll borrow them, but you can keep them. This is John from Slash Bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to see more of them, then hit that subscribe button. We'd love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.